The right stream. That's the goal. I want it to start the right stream. It looks like it is. Okay, good. Look at that. Lovely. Good morning, y'all. Welcome. How are you today? Welcome to Freedom Fridays. It's always a beautiful day in the neighborhood when we all get together to prioritize rest and fun. Because we know, listen, ain't nobody got time to be tired all the time. Look, I was having fun last night and something bit me on my face. I guess I was tasty. That's all good. So, yay, how are you today? If you are new here, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. If you are new, make sure you take a second and say hello in the chat. I would love to welcome you, to say hello to you, to let you know that you have space here. If you have been here before, then I'm always glad that you're back. I'm so glad that you're here today. You again, make sure you say hello in the chat so that I can welcome and chat with you as well. It's always a pleasure for us to make this a communal thing. So I'm always glad when you're here. So what are we here to do? Every Friday, I host this live stream as a community event for get it done women who are like, you know what? I mean, I appreciate that I get it done all the time, but this getting it done stuff has got me burnt out, and I am ready to stop being burnt out. I'm ready to actually get to this place where I live my life of rest. Like, rest is not an occasion, it's not something that happens occasionally. I want to live a rested lifestyle because that's what I'm about. My whole goal is to help you become a rested queen. And this is one of the ways that I help you do it. I help you do that by prioritizing rest and fun. It's just one of the steps in the nine in my framework to help you create your soft life, to become that rested queen. And so there's a couple things that we're going to do today, and I'm excited. I'm going to walk you through all of those things. But in the meantime, I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of what those things are so that you know what you're getting yourself into. So, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to celebrate your wins because I know that you don't do that regularly enough. And it makes you forget just how much you've gotten done. So, first, we're going to celebrate your wins. Second, we're going to give out stickers. Hashtag stickers as positive reinforcement for the times this week that you have prioritized rest and fun. Because the more that we do it and the more that we get recognized for it, the more that we are encouraged to be like, yes, I should do more of it. Then we're going to we're going to choose our rest intention for next week. And I'll walk you through that. And then you're actually going to prioritize it. I'm going to give you some suggestions on how to prioritize that rest intention for next week. And then once we prioritize it in our schedule, then we're going to wind down for the weekend. And as always, we're going to have fun. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to enjoy each other as we do that. So, I'm excited to walk you through yet another week of this. And I'm looking forward to us doing this all together. So I'm just double checking a couple things to make sure everything is moving as it's supposed to be, because I am looking for a friend. Now, my friend, if everything works out, she'll be joining today. But I don't see her text messages coming through. So I'm just gonna double check that really quick. And okay. Yes, okay, she's coming. So that will get us back on track in just a minute. I don't know why her text messages aren't coming through on my computer. Oh, there we go. She's getting logged in now. There we go. Okay. Yes.
Hey. Mhm.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, Nicole. How are you this
Hello,
morning?
hello, hello. Good. How are you? How are you? Sorry, I was having some technical challenges myself. I'm like, okay, let me get this thing working.
No worries, no worries. No, I'm good. It's perfect because I was just walking through the agenda of what we're going to do today, welcoming people to take a second to say hello in the chat and all of those amazing things. So the timing is amazing. amazing, and you look beautiful.
Well, thank you. Thank you, friend. Well, I had to be on
Yes.
live with you, so I had to try to like, look my best, present my best self.
Girl, you don't even have to do that in this space. We like, listen, this is about rest over here. You ain't got to be pretty to
Okay.
rest.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Right, right. So, you guys, I'm so excited to have Nicole on today because Nicole and I are both passionate about seeing women create this space of rest. And we talk a lot about similar things and how we do that. And so I was like, you know what? Yesterday, this was definitely on a whim. Yesterday, I said, "Ooh, I think it would be a fun conversation for us to do this together if you're open to it." And she said, yes. She decided to
I
join me
did.
today.
I
So,
did,
yes.
Yes.
So I'm excited
Yes.
for this to be a fun conversation. Excuse me. Before we go any further, tell everybody who you are, who you help. Like, tell us about you a little bit.
So I'm Nicole. I am the Burnout to Brilliance coach. I love supporting women who are just so done with that burnout kind of life and are ready to really kind of come back to themselves. One of the things I like to say is you kind of may have lost parts of yourself on the way up the corporate ladder
Mm.
or in the dirty diaper pail, and you're ready to kind of reconnect back to yourself and like, wait a minute, where did she go? Right?
Right.
And ready to come back to yourself, ready to reconnect, ready to find out who you are again outside of all those things and what it is that that's about now for you. Yeah.
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, Nicole and I are on similar wavelengths, and I love that so much. And in addition to that, we both do different offers. So, my coaching offer is that 16-week coaching offer, and then I do a retreat. And Nicole does some amazing retreats as well. And so, as we go through today, I want to make sure we talk about like all the different ways that you
Hmm.
don't have to just like, this is just the first step to
Hmm.
getting rest. Like learning to prioritize it, learning to see the effects of what it does in your life, and seeing sometimes we've been so deep in the work for so long that we
Hmm.
forget what the rest looks like. And so this is about helping you
Hmm.
remind your body and yourself that there is something missing. And then we help you take it further by giving you like that
Hmm.
guidance and taking that to making it be just more than just an occurrence, but this lifestyle that you actually get to enjoy. So
Exactly. Exactly. I love that. I
yes.
love that. More than an occurrence, right? This isn't just a one-time nap, right? Where we're gonna
No.
just kind of rest up a
Right.
little bit and keep pushing. It's
Right.
about how do you sustain that rest in your life in a meaningful way so that you're not just
Right.
running on empty all the time. Hmm.
Right. Right, right. And that's what we actually if we're gonna fight for something, let's fight for that. Not let's
Right?
fight to get more stuff done. Because guess
Right.
what? There's always gonna be more to get done, but there's only so much of us. Like let us fight
Hmm.
for us and that ourselves and centering ourselves. Okay. I love that. Okay. So the first thing that we do, Nicole, the first thing that we do is we celebrate our wins. And so I like to, I'll share a couple wins. I try to share about 3 wins that I want to celebrate. And that gives everybody who's tuning in the opportunity to put theirs in the chat so that we can celebrate theirs as well. And I would love to give you some space. I'm giving you prep so you can start to think of what your wins are for the week. Because I'm
I
like,
like that because
yes, you're
I
like,
need a second. Like, let me think about
right.
that.
And here's the thing about this sometimes with our wins, again, because we don't have a regular practice of doing that, sometimes we don't even see our wins. And so I love, like, even if you're just like, I'm not sure what my win is, that's okay. We're gonna get it together. Because even for me, I have to stop and think, what are my wins? And what happened this week? It's Friday. And
Hmm.
I'm like, wait, I don't even know what actually happened this week. So for that being said, my first win from the week, this week, y'all. Okay. I've been on a whole little adventure coming over to LA. And one of the things that I said as soon as I got here was, I want to go to Oregon so that I could see my tiny house builder. I've seen plenty of tiny houses, but I want to see my tiny house builder. I've only seen their things in pictures, and just even the quality in pictures is beautiful, but I want to see it in person. And so I was like, okay, California is closer than Charlotte. I could go do that. And Jesus is so good. A week later, I got an email that my builder was going to be down the street from me here in California. And I was like, oh my gosh,
The
you gotta be
synchronicity.
kidding me. Right? And
Mhm.
also like having that open heart, speaking, we talk about manifesting. I'm not sure, I don't believe in manifesting without putting energy and work behind it, but there was something beautiful about saying that out loud. And then I got an
Mhm.
email that said, this is going to be down here. So not everything is going to happen like that, but it was a beautiful gift for me. I said that I wanted this year to be magical, and I claim that as one of the magical things that have happened. And so this week, that email, that all happened in May, but this week was the week that the tiny house was actually in the city, and I got to go see it. And y'all, I don't know if you got to see my stories on Tuesday. I like to do tiny house porn every Tuesday. And this one was different because I could do it literally in a tiny house. Talk about giddy, excited. My face is already starting to hurt from like just thinking about how much fun I had. But it
Aw.
was just so fun. And
Mhm.
Nicole, I know that you can relate to this because Nicole and I are in a mastermind together for our business. And one of the first things that it said to do in our onboarding was to get abundance in your spirit,
Mhm.
in your vicinity, like touch it and really remind yourself that these things are real. They're not just the things that
Mhm.
are in your mind. And so the one thing that I wanted to do that with was tiny houses, and I didn't have anywhere in North Carolina available to do that. And so like being able to do this now was like the excitement from that
Mhm.
activity that I was like, I get to touch it. This is
Mhm.
amazing. So
Mhm.
yes, that's one of my wins. I'm so excited about it.
That's awesome. I love that. I just you can hear it in your voice, just the excitement and the like, ah, it's happening. It's
Right,
coming together.
right,
Yeah,
right.
beautiful.
And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to receive that. So I'm going to put that out there for anybody that lately, and I'm going to put it out there specifically for any of us that have felt like things have been failing. Things,
Mhm.
it seems like no matter how hard you work, that things aren't working. I want you to take from that that the universe is not working against you. Sometimes things are
Mhm.
just working in the background, and
Mhm.
sometimes you get little pops of magic that come up, and enjoy them when they come. Don't just skip over it or speed over it. Like, oh yes, that happened. Listen, I've been talking about it all week, every time I get a chance, how magical it is. And I'm probably going to continue to talk about it because it reminds me that I deserve magical things too. And you deserve magical things too. When we are burnt out, when we feel like we don't have a lot of rest, we forget that we deserve magic too. And this was the
Mhm.
reminder to me that I deserve magic too. So you see, I could talk about that. I could talk about that.
I love
Okay,
it.
Nicole, are you ready for your
Yeah,
first
yeah. I
or
am, but let
first
me but
one?
I also and I also just want to like I also love that I'll say this for me. I don't know if this is true for you, Rashda, but sometimes I can have a thing sit in my head versus really feeling it in my body. And I love that
Mm,
you're just kind of just sit with the joy of that,
mm-hmm.
just sit with the
Mm-hmm.
like excitement of that and just like feel what it feels like in your body to feel that level of excitement. And one of the things I noticed is it almost like took you into like this little kid kind of joy, like, oh, I get to see my daddy now. Right. And it's like that just kind of sitting with that in your body and letting it really feel that all over is just another extension of really embodying like that feeling and that emotion and not just kind of having it be something that oh, it happened. It's a thing that happened. It's in my head, and that's the end of it, right? And just
Yeah.
staying with it. So I love that. I love that for you. I love it.
Yes, I love that.
Yes.
It's actually reminds me of a book that I was reading lately, and the thing that I took from it, it was a book about dating, and I took it in a completely different context, but um the whole part was that we get so deep into the thinking. And the
Mhm.
thinking is not the same
Mhm.
as the feeling, it's not the
Mhm.
same as the living. And he said,
Mhm.
drop out of your head and down into your
Into your
body. So I
body.
appreciate you, Nate. I appreciate that
Mhm.
you are seeing me do that action because it was something that I wanted to step into. So thank you for saying that. Thank you for
Yeah,
saying that so
yeah.
much. Okay, I
Absolutely.
want
It's
to hear
something I
your
have to
win.
remind myself, something I have to remind myself to do all the time. So I can
Yeah.
appreciate it. So I think the win that I'm probably the most excited about is being able to take this trip next week, and with my daughter as well. And there's going to be some other colleagues and friends that are going to be there. And initially I was like, okay, I want to do it. And then some things kind of didn't come together. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm not going to make it. And
Mhm.
then, out of the blue, I was very fortunate that somebody decided to sponsor this trip for me. And I was just
Mhm.
like, oh, well, I hadn't thought of that. And they just offered, and I was like, well, okay. And it feels really nice because
Mhm.
it just wasn't
Mhm.
lining up at the time. And it was like, and then there it was. I didn't have to do anything hard. I didn't have to, try to make it work, which is a definitely a thing that I would have done in the past. Right, I have to make something work,
Mhm.
and this just was like, no, here it is. Kind of like you're talking about, like, okay, here's the opportunity right here. You didn't have to do something super crazy. Yes, you had to take an action. You had to go walk down the street to where it was, but the action wasn't super intense. It was
Yeah.
available to you. It was easy to do. And the same thing, it was all I really had to do was say, yes, yes, please, or yes, thank you.
Yes. Right.
And that was
Right.
it. And so
Yeah.
here I am now going with my daughter on this great trip, and going to be able to get to see a lot of new friends and existing friends. So it's gonna be fantastic. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I love that. And I love it so much because it brings me to my second win is that, and I think that the whole part of us feeling like we have to work harder is that we feel like that's the only way for good things to happen to us. And at the beginning of this year, when I chose my word for the year, I chose magical, but then I changed it into a statement and I said, make space for this year to be magical. Because sometimes we think we have to make
Mhm.
magical things happen,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
the
I
part
love that.
that work
Love
part,
that.
right? That's
Mhm.
the part that pushes
Mhm.
us to work harder. I gotta work, I gotta make it magical. And I wanted to change that feeling and I put it on my phone and I recite it to myself. I read it to it all the time. I even just added the date to it, like make space for 2025 to be magical, not this year, but 2025
Mhm.
right here, right now to be magical.
Mhm.
And so my second one is like, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that I am intentionally making space. And making space looks like instead of rushing in to try to make things happen, I'm saying out loud, I want this thing to happen. And then I'm taking a step back. And I'm not saying
Mhm.
that I'm not doing work, but I'm taking a step back to see what is my part in making that happen. Because it's not always all on me. I believe in Jesus. I got faith. It's not just me in this. And I actually was just having a conversation with a really good friend of mine. She said, what does it look like to be in this with Jesus? And I got this analogy from The Big Leap. He talks about how to have a good relationship is to have one person is a full 100% and the other person is a full 100%. We don't think about that when we're in relationships. We think there's just 100% between the two of us and we're fighting
Mhm.
over who's going to do a little bit more than the other. And that's not what it
Mhm.
is. I got to give my full self and he's given his full self because that's what Jesus does. He can't do anything less than that. But I have to be okay to not try to do 100% plus his 100%. Like, that ain't my
Mhm.
responsibility. I gotta
Mhm.
stop being over responsible and making space for him to show up and do
Whew.
what he does. Because if I'm
Mhm.
getting in the way, he gonna be like, girl, I ain't gonna fight to bless you.
Right. Right. Over responsible. Oh my gosh. That I could
Right.
just relate to that so much. Just the feeling the need to do all of the things, and
Mhm.
everything is not my job.
Right. It's
Everything
not.
is not my job. Yeah.
And if I
Yep.
go sit my tail down, somebody else will step up.
Mhm. Correct.
And that's
Correct.
beautiful. It's not
Mhm.
even that I'm like asking them. It's just beautiful that people actually want to love us. People actually want to
Correct.
serve us. People actually want to be a part of our lives. And if we just make space for it, things can be
Yes.
magical. right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I'm celebrating how magical things have been and making space for that and not feeling like I have to be that over responsible person, which is healing and letting go of some of that
Mhm.
superwoman cape, that strong black woman trope, all of those
Mhm.
things as women that make
Mhm.
us feel like we have to do that. Like it's progress to let those things and see it happening in the midst of it.
Right. Right. I love what you said about how you had to make space for it. Because so
Hmm.
I just this is how aligned we are is on my phone. I literally have multiple screensavers for different things, and one of them is it says you probably can't see it, but it says allow joy.
Mm,
And so
right?
so this is one of the ones that'll come on at a certain time of day. It's like to remind myself, like, oh yes, that's right. Make space for the
Hmm.
joy, make space for the fun. And so the thing, and we were talking about yesterday, is like mine last night was to go out dancing with some friends and just like
Mm,
just go dancing, just have fun, just relax, chill out, just allow for the
yes.
joy, right? And it was a great
Yes.
time. So that was
Yeah.
another win for me this week, right? Is just to allow myself to go have fun. Yes, every single thing in my week wasn't perfectly the way that I wanted it, but that's okay. I still can go out and have fun because, as I like to say,
Yeah.
joy is not dessert, right? It's not the
Yeah.
thing you earn, after you've kind of no, it's part of life that you should center and allow
Hmm.
on a regular
Yeah.
basis, right?
Yeah.
And all the other things will be what they will be. They will fall into place the way they're supposed to fall into place. But centering joy is just it's such a vital practice.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right. And when we center it, is it not better? Like, is that not what
of
makes
course,
life better? Right?
of course,
You know,
of
we
course.
say we want rest, but sometimes in our effort to get rest, we're working hard for it and we counterintuitively block the things that actually give us the rest.
Exactly,
We
exactly,
do.
exactly.
I appreciate you sharing that. I'm so glad you went
Yeah,
dancing too, because I was like, when
I
you said it yesterday, you're like, I'm not sure. And I was like, yes, you did. I'm so glad you did. I'm glad
I
you
did. I was
did.
like, you know what? I said I'm gonna listen to my body. I'm gonna take a quick nap because I was kind of tired. And then I was like, and then I'm gonna see how I feel. And then I woke up refreshed and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go dancing. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And it was great. And it was great.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. And that leads me to my third win because the other thing that I noticed, I totally believe in like both and that there are it's not either or. I believe in both and that multiple things could be happening at the same
Hmm.
time, right? And so, you're right. Like our weeks, especially us as an entrepreneur, there are plenty of times where we'll be like, yes, this is going to work. And then the next thing you know, it's like, womp, womp. It doesn't
Exactly.
actually go the way
Hmm.
that you thought. And if we're so busy focusing on trying to make it work, then we forget to make space for the fun.
Hmm.
And what happens is instead of getting what we want, I'll take it. I start buckling down more like, oh, I
Yes.
just gotta
Yes.
focus on the
Work
work. I just
harder.
gotta do right.
Work harder.
I just
Do
gotta do the
more. You're just
stuff.
not doing enough. That's the problem.
Right.
You gotta do more.
And it's
Hmm.
not
Hmm.
it. It's never
Hmm.
it. And so even
Hmm.
yesterday when you were like, I think I'm just gonna go on a whim. Now you already know I had told you guys yesterday after our we have a squad call once a month. After that, I had a date and it actually ended up being a lot of fun. And I there was part of me that was like, okay, you didn't hung out most of the day. It was like 1:30 when we were done hanging out. And it started at like 10:30. Okay. So in my mind, there was part of me that's like, girl, you need to get to work. Right.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we got on that call and you were like, I'm gonna do this. And all of those calls were perfect. But then I realized it is like 4:35 to 5:30 by the time I finished all of that. And I was like, I still haven't done any work. And let me tell
Hmm.
y'all, that is a trap. For one,
Hmm.
because the best work is building relationships. The best
Yes.
work is serving each other. The best work is
Yes.
showing up for each other. It's not always about the stuff that we type on the computer. And
Yes.
so I had to like take a step back and remind myself, I did work. I did good work today. I did
Yes.
amazing work connecting with people and really making space for me to show up and serve because that's what I actually care about. That's actually one of the things that brings me rest when I show up and serve, not just working, you know, on the stuff, but connecting with the people. That's why I left fashion because I was working on the stuff all the time and I wanted to connect with the people. So my third celebration is
Yes.
just making space and not beat myself up, not bully myself into being like,
Mhm.
because somebody else asked me to go out last night. And usually I'd have been like, nah, I got stuff to do. Last night I was
Mhm.
like, okay, let's see how this pans
Let's
out.
do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Did it end
How'd
up
it turn
panning
out?
out? Right, it didn't end up panning out, but at least I
Mhm,
made
mhm.
space for it, and instead, I went
Exactly.
out and I walked to, my friend was like, "Oh, go check out the Taste of Long Beach," which I completely forgot. She had already told me before, and I completely forgot that it was happening. But I walked over there and I saw the lights lining the street, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty." And I ended up putting that in my stories, just taking the walk and enjoying. I almost got my whole 10,000 steps yesterday, just making space for those
Mhm,
things, for joy in those
mhm.
ways to be a part of my life. And so, yes, that's
I
how it
love
turned
it.
out. That
I
no, I
love it.
didn't do the date, but I still make space for me to have the real rest that I needed, and I needed it because I didn't need to be hanging out. I was actually tired. I came home and went to bed after that. That was enough.
Mhm. And I understand. And I do, and I just want to, I want to pick up on what you said about, you did work yesterday, because we were in
Mhm,
a similar circle, and I was, and I know I was, in a situation where I was really trying to work through something, and lots of people showed up for me and were just like, "Hey, we
mhm,
got you. This is, and that it holding space for other people
mhm.
to allow for them to work through with their work. That is work. That is
It
service,
is.
and
It
it
is.
is not something. I don't know that some people always see it or understand it or appreciate it, but it's a big deal. And you and other folks in our squad really showed up, and that was definitely a win. I considered a win for me because I was really struggling with some things and showed right up and were like, "We got you. What about this? Hear about that." And it was so helpful. And
Yeah.
so for sure, huge win and a great reminder of just like, oh yeah, that's right. There's all these other people are around that are here and that we are supporting each other, because just the same way I know I have tried to do the same thing with others, and showed up and offered some support, or had a suggestion or an idea that might be helpful, or just hold the space and allow
Mhm,
them to talk through whatever the thing is, right? That is,
mhm.
it's real.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah. Now
Mhm.
here, let me pause for a second because I didn't realize this, but we got some people in the chat. My chat ain't showing up on my thing. Let me get my life together, y'all.
Aw.
Hey, how are you today? I'm so glad you're here. Let me figure out what's going on. I'm glad I got both windows open. That's okay. Tracy, hey lady. She said, hey Nicole. Hey Megan. Hey
Hey.
everybody. Happy Friday. Yes, ladies. I'm so glad you're here. How are you? Let me figure out what's going on for a second. How about this? Nicole, do you have your
Yes.
third one ready? And then I'm gonna go ahead and figure that out. Tracy said,
Sure,
alive, girl.
sure.
I'm alive. Yes, girl. I feel
Right?
that.
That's a win. I woke up this morning. That's a win. I got out the bed. I took a shower. I took care of myself. That's a win. Count it.
Yes,
It's all
yes.
a win. It's all a win. I think if I was
Yes.
gonna, yeah, if I think I was going to say some more wins for me this week, is that, as I mentioned also, I had not been taking as many as I usually like to take, walks. I go in the early mornings. I will go out to, there's a really beautiful park near me, and just do like a small, short hike, and sometimes on the weekends a longer one. But it is so grounding to just be in the presence of nature and just in this beautiful space. Even if I'm there for 15 minutes, if I'm there for an hour, doesn't matter. The being there, being in nature, just kind of experiencing sunlight on your skin, right? Literally touching a tree, like
Mhm,
it absolutely just has this. Just taking a deep breath and just being present there, is just, it
mhm,
can so impactful on just really regulating your nervous system, helping you get grounded, and really just bringing you back to the present moment, that everything is okay, and really
Yeah.
starting to help you just turn that volume of noise down in the mind, and just really just showing up in presence, and stillness and enjoyment of what's happening around you, even in stillness, just observing the little birds do their thing, or a little squirrel do its thing, like just being present in nature, seeing some beautiful flowers. Just it's so it's just such a beautiful reminder of just like everything doesn't need to be rush and busy and stress and all of those things. And when I'm coming at things from a place of stress, I love what you said about like how you tend to default to the double down of like that is so me, right? I can easily go into that double down because like, oh well, then I got to work harder. I just got to do more. And occasionally there might be more things to do, but that's not usually the answer. Usually
Mhm.
what's needed in that moment is to step back,
Mhm.
to relax, right? To get grounded, and kind of, and from that grounded and peaceful place be like, okay, what is needed next? Right?
Mhm.
Is there anything that has to happen next? What's the next step? And sometimes the next step is, girl, sit down, take a break, take a nap, get a snack, drink some water. Sometimes that's what's next, right? And not all the busy work, the activity,
Right.
right? That's not
Right.
always what's next, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's really it's just so powerful to be reminded like when that kicks in. And what I notice, I don't know about you, Rashad, but what I notice is that usually when that kicks in, it's rooted in some kind of fear or
Mhm.
judgment.
Mhm.
Fear
Yeah.
or judgment, right?
Yeah.
Which, and even the judgment is typically rooted in fear, right? It's
Mhm.
there's some kind of judgment that says, oh, you're not doing enough. And then that's usually
Mhm.
rooted in some kind of fear that your needs not going to be met, right?
Mhm.
But the truth of the matter is that our needs always get met.
Yeah.
Things always, they do end up working out. They may not work out the way we expect them to work out, and they may not look exactly the way we expect them to look, but ultimately it's all okay and it all will work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I that whole concept and the scarcity mindset, we're going that's a whole thing that I'm actually like wanting to talk about even more. So I'm gonna leave that for another day because that's a
Mhm. Mhm.
whole
Mhm. It
nother
is.
thing,
It
but
is. It
definitely
is. It
something
is.
so deep to be paying attention to.
Mhm.
Ladies, share your wins in the chat. I want to shout you out. I want to celebrate your wins with you. As we're going through this, as always, always so happy you're here. I don't know why the chat's not showing up on Riverside for us, but that's okay. I got you open so I can see when you leave. I can see when you leave a message so I could go ahead and shout you out when they happen. So, that being said, I'm gonna make space for you ladies to start sharing your chats, your wins in the chat. I know it takes a little second to get them in there. So, with that, the next thing we do, I'm gonna explain, especially to help Nicole or anybody else that's new. I want to help you know what's next. The next thing we do is we give out stickers. Stickers. Remember how when you were in elementary or when you were in kindergarten, your kindergarten teacher said, if you did XYZ, if you followed the rules, if you did this, if you did that, I will give you a sticker. Well, we give out stickers, and this is hashtag STICKAS stickers. Okay, um, we give out stickers when we have prioritized rest and fun over the week, and this is not about how long you've done. I don't even need to know how much you've done. It's about did you choose in yourself to say, I'm going to rest for a moment here, whether it's taking a deeper breath, whether it's taking a pause, whether it's saying no, whether it's actually carving out time to do your rest intention. Any of those reasons are the reasons you can get a sticker. And what I do, I actually like the ladies will put hashtag sticker in the chat. And then I have a spreadsheet that I keep track of those stickers and we give them out every week. And if you're watching the replay, you don't even have to be here live to get a sticker. All you got to do is go to the comments section and do hashtag sticker, and I will give you your sticker. You will see it the next week when I pull up the spreadsheet. You're going to see that if you are already on the spreadsheet, I've added your sticker. If you're new, I'm gonna add you to the spreadsheet and then give you your sticker. So, ladies, if you have prioritized dress and fun at all this week, go ahead and start putting your sticker in the chat while you're also making time, or while you're also telling us about celebrating your wins, because I want to celebrate those with you. So, okay, while we're giving them a second to do that, first, did that make sense, Nicole? I'm so used to like
Absolutely.
talking through it. I'm like
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love a sticker. Who doesn't want those stickers?
yes, right? These stickers are fun. They're like, oh
They
yes, I'm
are.
a grown adult and I still want a sticker.
Of course, absolutely. We just older children. It's I want my
Right.
sticker.
So I'm going ahead and I'm opening up that spreadsheet, and then I'm going to share my screen, and then I will go ahead and switch back to um seeing who has put sticker in the chat. In addition to, would you like to be added to that? I would love to add you to it. And if you don't get a chance, yes, Tristan, oh, come on, we got the
Aw.
stickers coming in. So I would love to add
Aw.
you if you want, and if you can, that's okay. It's all right. Either way, yes.
I love it. I love these stickers.
Yes. Do you see it? Can
Stickers.
you see it on the
I love
screen?
it. It's so
Yes.
cute. Yes. So
Okay,
cute.
good. So Tracy said, hashtag win. My win literally is that today was the first time for the entire week that I got up early and made myself a decent breakfast. This boy only slept last night for
Mm.
the first time this week. She has a new baby boy. Oh, I
Oh
get to
my
see the pictures.
gosh.
She got the
Yes.
cutest cheeks and the fattest little
Yes.
legs. It's precious.
Mm.
Yes.
Mm, mm,
But she
mm.
said he slept all night and you've got that early breakfast to yourself. Come on, girl. That is the
Yes.
win.
It
Yes.
is a huge win. Little baby babies. There's so much going on there. It is a huge win. That's a huge
Exactly.
win.
Exactly. Okay. And then Tracy says, see how sleep deprived I am. Hashtag a win. Yes, girl. Yes, for getting there and getting a little bit of extra sleep last night. I'm glad it's helping you. Come on. Okay, good. Okay, happy Friday. Marissa's here. Hey, Marissa. Okay. So Tracy's getting a sticker, Megan's getting a sticker, Marissa's getting a sticker. We're getting stickers. Let's go ahead and start adding some stickers to the spreadsheet. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I
Okay,
love
so that
it.
was the different, so what I do is every quarter we do this, we do it regardless, but I have a
Hmm.
checkpoint at every quarter where every
Hmm.
time somebody has come on, whether they've done it as a comment on a replay or whether they've joined us live, I use these stickers as entries into a giveaway that I do every quarter. And I try to do something different. Now, some of my community are digital nomads and are not necessarily in the States. So I don't choose specifically what it is just in case they're not here. But I'm like, here's what it like, here's the vibe. I want to send like a massage or I want to do this. And
Oh,
I'll send
nice.
that to
Yeah.
that person as a giveaway
Nice.
at the end. So that's the other part to stickers.
Amazing.
I that's like icing on the cake. I want the rest to be the cake, to be the deliciousness that we get to enjoy. Actually, it might be the icing and all of that part of the cake, and then the giveaway is just the sprinkles on top. So it's more
I love
important
it.
that we all make time for the rest first and foremost. Okay, today's the 13th. This is my Juneteenth because the next week is going to be the 20th. So that's why we got the Black Power Fist as the sticker for this week. So let me go ahead
Mm.
and get that
I
out
love
there.
that. Oh, I was going
Yeah.
to ask you what is the symbolism of all the different stickers? They're beautiful. I love all of these different stickers.
And we kind of just gotta go. I'll be like, ladies, I need to pick some new stickers. What do you think? And then we're like, oh, look,
Yes, I
summertime, or
love it.
oh, you're in Long Beach, use the water, or oh, it's Juneteenth. So we kind of just pick them as we go and
I
make it
like it.
make it
I
fun.
like it.
Yes. Okay, good. Okay, so we had Marissa, we had Megan. Oh, y'all, Leslin is starting to emerge. So hopefully she'll get a chance to join today. She posted on a comment this week. We have some regulars that come pretty regularly, and Leslin had been missing, and we be looking for her. I even sent her an email and said, "Hey, girl, you okay?" She said, "I'm okay. I've just been busy." I said, "Okay, just making sure you okay." And
All
that's the
right.
beauty of this
Yes.
community, knowing to go and check on each other.
Yes.
I love
Yes,
it. And so
absolutely.
Yes. And then Tracy, I gave you your sticker as well. Let me double check. Make sure I didn't miss anybody because I want to make sure everybody gets their stickers. Yes. Tracy said, Happy Friday, Marissa. Marissa said, Tracy, that was a great one. Listen, because I know the moms know how it is. Celebrating the moms. I
Yes.
love it. Celebrating your nourishment and a full night of sleep. Yes, yes, and amen. Come
Mm-hmm.
on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so
That is
glad that you got
important.
your full night of sleep. Right. It is. It is. Okay. So I'm going to give anybody else a chance to kind of take a second. If you want to celebrate, if you have any ones you want to celebrate, you can go ahead and put them in the chat. If there's anybody that hasn't, that's on, that wants to tell me that they are getting a sticker, go ahead and let me know. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to do a body scan so that we can decide what our rest intention is going to be for this upcoming week, and we can be intentional about it, because rest does not happen by accident. Rest does not happen by accident. Rest does not happen by accident. We have to be intentional about it. And there's a couple different ways. Once we decide what our rest intention is, then I will share with you some ways to implement that for the next week. Okay, so Tracy said, That's good that Leslin will slowly be coming back. She's been greatly missed. Yes, she has. Tracy, I hope that she sees this video and hears us talk about her for the last couple of weeks and lets her know that we have definitely been thinking about her every single week. And especially in the way that she thinks about us. Because, Leslin will show up and be like, Well, where's this person? Or where's that person? And we love that. I love that so much. And then Tracy says, Marissa, girl, you got away with words, doesn't she? I love it. I love the way Marissa comes with it. And she picks some good rest and fun activities, which we're going to get into that too. Actually, let me pause and say that. So if you are that person that's been like, I've been working, I've been working day and night, and now you're like, I don't even remember how to have rest and fun. Like, I don't know what I would do. Like, all I do now is I come home and I watch TV and I forgot the other things that I could do, then that's why we created this lovely lead magnet that we created together here on this live stream, that we come together and it's like, hey, if you need some different ideas, here's a whole list of them. It's completely free. You just want to go to freedomfridays.yourdreamstrategist.com/activities and you can download this list. It is more than 30 tangible activities of things that you can do to add different types of rest and fun into your life. There's things like earthing, there's longboarding, there's dancing, there's going skating, there's so many. Listen, I can't even name it all because that was four. There's the point is that you don't have to keep trying. Sometimes you just need a different way to rest. And sometimes you're like, I'm just bored with that. I just need something new. Well, this list is going to give you some suggestions, some different things for you to try. So again, that link is freedomfridays.yourdreamstrategist.com/activities. Let me go ahead and put it in the chat. So if you need to get to it, you can have it right at your fingertips. All you got to do is click on it. I like to make it easy for you. So I just put that in the chat for you. It is a clickable link if you want to do that. Okay. So now, okay, you're like, I know I got the worksheet. I need to decide how much rest do I need for this week? One of the best questions that I've got was like, how do I know how much rest I need? And it took me some while to process how to answer that, because it's not a one size fits all. It's
Hmm.
not, it's different for Nicole, it's different for me. Listen, it's different for me from today compared to yesterday and the week before. Like, this is not an answer that's going to be the same every single day. So how do you figure that out? And that's what we're about to do. We're about to do a body scan where you kind of listen to, not just kind of, where you're going to listen to your body and ask yourself, what do I need in this moment? So, are you ready, y'all? Let's go ahead and transition. It's super easy. I'm just going to sit back, get my little pillow up so I got my little lumbar support, and then I'm going to close my eyes. You do what feels best to you, whatever is going to help you best listen to your body. That's what I want you to do right now, okay? So I'm going to put my hand on my chest, the other on my belly. I'm going to close my eyes and lean back, okay? And in that, I want you to pull all of your awareness into yourself. I want you to try to stop thinking about the things that are in your brain and listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth, what was it, Chris Tucker? Okay, and in that, I want you to think, I want you to process, I want you to hear your body as you do this body scan and ask your body, how much rest do we need? Have we been super introverted and now we need some extroverted time? Have I been super extroverted and now I need some introverted time? Do I need a nap? Do I just need to get down in my body? What do I need, body? Tell me what I need. That's what you're listening for in this moment. So I want you to start at the top of your head and then scan down over your forehead, over your ears, over your eyes, over your nose, over your mouth, over your chin, down your neck, across your shoulders, down your elbow, those are your triceps, and then your elbows, and then your forearms, over your hands and your fingertips, down your chest, down your belly, over your hips, down your thighs, across your knees, over your shins, down your ankles, over your feet, across your toes, all the way to the other end of tips of your body. And ask your body, what do I need right now? Every week, the first thing my body says to me is, girl, fix your forehead. Let them wrinkles go, girl. It's the first thing my body says to me every week. And then I'm like, oh, okay, okay. And then after that, I start to hear some things. So I'll just be quiet for a second to give you some space to listen. And as you finish those breaths, you can open your eyes and take a second and just think about, okay, what was that intention that your body gave you? If you want, share it in the chat. It's up to you. You don't have to, but I want you to pay attention to what that intention was. For me this week, as I'm thinking about going into next week, my intention is going to be, like, don't bully myself into doing work. The things that I'm going to a conference. Work is going to look different next week. Lean into that. And while I'm leaning into that, have fun. Like, I want to have deep belly laughs. I want to accidentally snort. I want to like have so much fun that
Mhm.
I'm like, this was exactly what I needed. And I didn't let any little troll in the back of my mind tell me that I needed to do more. Okay. I want to allow that. I want to allow the fun, the rest, intention to be what I lean into and let nothing distract me from that. So, if you have any, and Nicole, you're welcome as well. You don't have to, but if you have any rest intention that you want to share, I would love to hear it about it. Let me see. Marissa said, "My bad, I stepped away. Thank you, Tracy. I truly appreciate that because I am constantly questioning if I'm too wordy. Girl, you are never
Mm.
too wordy. Never too wordy. I love it. I love the poeticness that you always bring to us. So don't hesitate on that, girl. And I'm gonna ask you to receive that you are amazing right now. Okay." And then Marissa said, "My body let me know I need to go hydrate immediately. Hey, I hear that, girl. Because we
Mhm.
be
Yep.
forgetting to drink
Stay
our
with my
water.
water. Stay with my water.
It made me want my water. Mine is around there. I was like, okay,
Mhm.
that's gonna have to be my next thing that I go
Mhm.
do. I appreciate that. Get my water in. Yes, yes, I love it. Okay. That's a good one. Thank you for sharing that, Marissa. And if anybody else has any other ones they want to share, I love it. I'm here for it. Okay. So now that you have your rest intention, there's two ways that I love to help you implement it. Number one, if you're the person that's not like really big on using the calendar and the schedule, I understand. I do want to help you know that structure is actually freedom. I know that's counterintuitive. We think that being able to just be willy nilly flowing in the wind is
Mhm.
freedom. And yet, when we do that, the tension happens is that tension that happens is, how do I actually know that I have enough time to do everything? How do I stop overbooking myself? How do I
Mhm,
actually prioritize the things that are really important rather than
mhm,
doing the random things that come up? And we do not know, we cannot do that well without structure. And so
mhm,
I'm going to suggest this to you, but I'm going to suggest it to you as a gateway to that structure in the future. So now, here's this is your gateway drug. This is your way to get started on being intentional without having to jump directly into the scheduling part. So the way I want you to do that, I got my little deck of post-its, okay? I want you to go ahead. Let me see if I put this in my front of my face, you'll be able to see it. I want you to put that rest intention on that post-it, and I want you to decide how many times this week do you want to lean into that rest intention. And it's going to look
mhm,
something like this on the post it. Say you decided, I want to, if you only want to lean into it one time this week, then ignore, you only need one box. You don't need three. Okay. But whatever it is, put it on this post it, and then put this post-it somewhere that you're going to see it. Whether it's on the mirror in your bathroom because you're brushing your teeth every morning, whether it's in your refrigerator next to your oat milk because you make coffee every morning, whether it's on your front door because you go out of that regularly. Wherever it is that you're going to see this post-it regularly, and it's going to remind you to lean into rest, to be intentional about rest this week. That's what I want you to do. This is like the start to helping you get more intention, to creating a structure that's not about productivity for productivity's sake. This is about prioritizing rest. I'm gonna be real. I don't care how much work you get done. I care about how much rest you get. And so this is that post-it to help you get started on that. And then if you're like, okay, look, that's a good start, but I actually am good with that. I'm ready for the structure. Then the other way to do that is we are going to actually schedule rest into our calendar. And
mhm.
Nicole, the way that we do that, I put on some music, and this becomes a co-working session where we actually go set up our schedule for next week. So this, you want to think
Love
about,
that.
okay, right? Because it makes it easier.
Love
It
that.
makes it so
Yeah, it
much
does.
easier to
It
prioritize.
does.
And it's like,
Mhm.
okay, I know what the bullseye of the middle of the dartboard is. This is what I'm trying to accomplish for the week.
Yeah, and what we
Then
prioritize is what gets done.
exactly.
Mhm,
Exactly. And that's
mhm.
exactly where all of this came from. And so if if you're going to stay with us to do the scheduling, you guys, it's about 25 minutes. I got music. You're going to literally put this in your calendar. And you're going to see me working on my calendar. I like to start it with a brain dump for me to decide, like, what are my intentions for the week. I put my rest intention, I decide what my work intention is, and then I start moving things around on my calendar. And I've even been refining mine. This is the other time where your time and energy budget comes in. My season has been changing, so my time and energy budget has been evolving as well, which means my calendar has been evolving as well. So those are all the things that are happening in the background, even if you don't see it all on the screen. But you're going to get about this 25 minutes to go ahead and set up your schedule right now. Any questions, anything you want to add to that before I start jumping into that?
I no, I just love this exercise. This is such a beautiful I do kind of the same thing.
I love
And
it.
it's so powerful because for me, as I'm a calendar girly. Like, I love my calendar. It helps me stay focused and what it is I need to be doing and not get distracted by other things. But
Mhm.
for without it, not even but and without a doubt, the priority has to be equally the things I need to do and the things I need to do to take care of myself. Those things have to balance. And so putting it in the calendar, just gold. Yes. Love
Yes,
it.
yes, I
Absolutely love
love it,
it.
and that's why I was
Mhm.
like, this is always gonna be fun for us. This
Yes.
is just gonna be a good time for
Yes.
us to get together. I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
Marissa says, my post-it says, my creativity energizes me, and I hope to make time to be creative daily this week. Yes, my creativity energizes me. And I love that, especially for you, Marissa, because the way that you say things in your words, that's so powerful for you. I can see you reading that and being so connected to that and saying, yes, my creativity energizes me, and therefore I must make time for it. This is not a luxury. This is not a maybe type thing, like, yes, I'm going to make time for it. I love that. And I love that you're into the posted thing because I remember you're like, I'm not ready to schedule it. Like that feels I got a little schedule trauma. And I understand that for anybody that has, scheduling trauma, calendar trauma, I'm my next thing will be like, how can I make exercises to help us heal and use this more as a tool rather than feeling like it's a trap? Because I don't ever want your calendar. I don't want any exercise that we're doing to feel like a trap. This is about freedom. This ain't about traps. And yet, how can I help us heal and evolve for that? But thank you for sharing that. I love that. And thank you for sharing that. I love it so much. Okay, you guys. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and put the music on. And then after we finish this time, then we're going to come back and wind down for the weekend. And that's I mean, we had fun the whole time, but we will continue to have fun after that. So I'll see you in just about 25 minutes. I don't have my timer anymore, so just know when the music goes off. Well, it's gonna pause and then the whistle. You'll know. Let's see. Did it play? Live. There we go. Can you hear now? Okay, good.
That's so nasty. That's so nasty.
What is wrong with us today?
My fellas, my ladies, work it back. That's so nasty. That's so nasty.
Where's the other one? Calendar's acting crazy. Okay, y'all. Should be finishing up. It's about 30 seconds left. And then we're gonna go ahead and wind down for the weekend. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. I hope that you took some time, whether it was your post-it or whether it was putting the things in your schedule, in your calendar, that you took some time to go ahead and do that. I know one of the other things that some of our ladies do is that we will start doing some of our wind down activities. So let's go ahead and jump into them. Let me make sure I got the other window up so I could see the chat. Listen, the chat was chatting. Let's see what we had going on here. Um, okay. Marissa said my post-it. Okay, we did that last. Forgot to say hi, Nicole. Hey, it's lovely
Hey,
seeing you with us today.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Yes, I love it. And then Megan says, I was scheduling things on my calendar, but I kind of moved away from it a bit. I use a habit tracker and check things off as I do them each
Mm,
day. Example, meditate, journal, and go for a walk. Girl, I understand. I actually have a combination of those things as well. So what I was actually just doing, I'm actually getting ready to work on a weekly one too, but I have a daily version where I just updated it. I've been trying to see too if I can share this with you from my iPad to my screen. I have to figure out how to do that. But I've been using that as well because there are some things that I want to do every single day, specifically around my business, specifically around rest, specifically around connecting with people. And then now, then I just have one to do that's not on that list every day. And that's been simplifying things. So here's the other beautiful thing that I want to acknowledge and say around that. The way that you do your schedule, the way that you prioritize rest. It's not a monolith. It doesn't happen the same way all the time. You do it like this for a while and then life shifts. The way you do things shifts because you've learned more about you and what you need and all of that is perfect and beautiful. So I love Megan that you were making that shift so that you can get the things that you need from it because it's not just about doing the schedule, it's about setting it up in a way that's gonna help you serve yourself best. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that, and I hope that helps anybody else that's watching and joining us. Marissa said, "Meg, I like the habit tracker. I do something similar now, but I call it a daily and weekly rituals, just rinse and repeat the same things." Exactly. And your rituals are going to evolve and change. I love this because now you're getting into the second pillar of what I teach in my program, which is all about those life systems. It's helping you create life systems that set you up, that empower you to live the vision that you care the most about. So yes, 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 yes. I love it. I love it. Um, Megan said, "Yes, that's kind of what I do too, Marissa. I'll create a habit tracker for each month and put the things that I want to do daily, weekly on it." Yes, ladies. Ladies, you're putting it all into practice. I'm into it. Marissa said, "I love that we kind of landed on something similar. Updating monthly is smart. I may borrow that." Right now, I have been updating with the seasonal changes. You know what? There's so many there's checkpoints, and I love that you guys have picked up on that. We use this as a weekly checkpoint, and at the beginning, I used to do monthly reflections as well, and that monthly reflection is like Megan said, that's where we come back together and we look at, okay, how has the last month gone based over this week and the things that we've done on our weekly and daily routines? How do we need to adjust them, or do we just keep maintaining? And you're giving yourself this checkpoint to just pause and ask yourself rather than getting to the point where you've been doing things for so long and now you just don't understand why you do them anymore. It's so good to have those checkpoints. And another good checkpoint within that is a quarter, which is the other reason why I love doing the quarterly giveaway on the rest and ritual, the R&R check-in, because it's another time that we check in and say, okay, I've been working on my goals or working and not just your career goals. I'm talking about your rest goals. I've been working on these goals for the last quarter. What's been working for me? What's not working for me? What things do I need to change and evolve? And inside of my program, Meant for More, we go deeper into helping you do all of those things so that you can continue to evolve this in a way that makes it intentional and tangible for you to be able to create your lifestyle of rest, not just an activity that we do. I love it. Did you see oh, you saw the you saw the cat, Megan. I love him. His name is Hamilton. We call him Hammy for short. He likes to come and join me. There's Bruno too, but Bruno's a little rambunctious. So I just leave the door open for Hammy to get in. Yay, I love that you saw the cat. But I love that you guys have made space for to see this is an evolution. Like your schedule is you're not the same person every day. Your schedule can evolve just as much as you do. It might not evolve every day, every second, but it is going to evolve as you do, as things culminate and you learn more about yourself within, excuse me, about yourself within those. So, yes, yes, yes. Ladies, I love to hear it. I love to hear it. Okay, so let's go ahead and start winding down for the weekend. There's three things that we do to wind down for the weekend. The first thing that we do, I want you to take a look at your devices, your computer, your phone, your iPad and see how many windows do you have open? You got all of this stuff running in the back of your back in your background that's like taking up memory, taking up space. And listen, it's doing the same thing in your brain when you're doing that. So you want to make sure you close those windows or close as many as you can. Make them into bookmarks. Put them on your to-do list to check them later when you actually are going to do them. But right now, you're not using them. Get rid of them. Close those windows. So let me see how many windows. Um, I love that Megan said we don't talk about Bruno. Hey, he's sweet though. This is the Bruno we love, even though we love the Bruno in the movie as well. But yes, you got it exactly. That's how my friend named him. I love it. So I'm checking my iPad for how many windows I have. I have two windows open. One is my planner, so I'm gonna close one of those. Let me see on my laptop, girl. Now, y'all, the amount of windows that I have on my computer might be more. Let me tell you, it is more. I got more windows to close on my laptop. So I got one, two, three, oh, four, five, six windows there. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yes, I got 13 windows so far. Let me check the other side. Let me see. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, some of these are from today. So I could close that 19. Anybody else that didn't tell me they need a sticker, go ahead and let me know so I could close that window too. Let me see. 20, 21. I got 21 windows to close. And here's what I want you to remember about that. There is absolutely no shame in coming on here and said, I had all of these windows open and I need to close them. This is a reminder. This is not a judgment. This is like, hey, this is the opportunity to take a step back and see, for one, see all of the things that you have worked on. And for two, shut them things down so over the weekend you can actually enjoy it. You don't have those things running in the background. If it's something that you need to work on, then I hope that you actually made a list, did a brain dump. This is what I still have to do with those things. And you schedule time to do it. Or if it's not a priority, put it on the backlog, boo. Don't let that stuff be running in your mind. Put it in the backlog. If it's not a priority, don't have it up in your face. You have better things to focus on, okay? And you don't need any little trolls in the back of your mind trying to get you to pay attention to it. So when you focus, you feel better, you get more done. Yeah. Did y'all watch that video about multitasking? I know Tracy did because Tracy was like, multitasking is the devil. I listen, it's so much better to focus. When we divert our attention, we never give 100% to anything. So at least that's my own 2 cents about it. So I hope you took a second and got rid of some of those stuff. Marissa said, "Now you got me singing." It is a good song. It's so catchy. We don't talk about Bruno. I love it. I love it. Okay, so then the second thing we do to wind down for the weekend is what do you want to do, Nicole? I'm giving you preface. Um, we try to think about these last next two things are how are we going to like move our mind and body into rest? And so it's like, what is the fun meal that we're gonna have? What's the fun activity that we're gonna do? That reminds us, like, hey, body, we're leaving work if you're 9 to 5, and not everybody's work rest days are going to be on the weekend. Actually, my rest day is on Monday right now, but there's still a shift in this weekend as well. So thinking and being intentional about what we want rest to look like so that we can lean into it for our weekend. So the fun thing that you're gonna do for this weekend. What's my fun thing I'm gonna do this weekend? Oh, wait, no, that's next weekend. Next weekend, I've never been on a cruise. It's funny, as much travel as I've done, I've never been on a cruise. So next weekend I'm getting to tour a cruise ship, but that's not this weekend. What am I gonna do this weekend? I haven't decided yet. Yeah, this is why we do this, so we can stop and think about it, or else we won't do it. Do you have any
Mhm.
ideas?
Oh, girl, that is a great question. I actually, I am actually not sure because right now my priority around this weekend is getting ready to get on this flight for next week. So there's some
Mhm.
packing and things like that. But it's there will definitely be some hikes involved. There will definitely be some going out. And I actually, because this weekend is Father's Day, I will be taking my dad out
Mm.
for brunch on Sunday. So there will definitely be some connecting and enjoyment in the weekend for sure. But I
Yes,
love the idea of
yes.
like what's the ritual to signal to the body and to signal to the brain that like we're done for this for with this thing. And I think for me, that's going to be definitely shutting down all the tabs, closing the windows, putting the computer
Mhm.
down, right, and saying I'm not touching this for the weekend, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I love that. Yeah, and it is. It's like something we have to stop and think about, or literally, like, not only will all of those things stay open, because they stay open, then we like, "Oh, let me just take a look. Oh, let me just,"
Exactly.
and we're
Exactly.
trying to stop doing that, So I love that.
Exactly. Hmm.
I forgot that it was, Father's Day this weekend. My father is not in Long Beach, so I won't be able to take him out or see him, but I will definitely call him. I think my other fun thing that I'm thinking about is I'll probably go take a beach go walk on the beach this weekend. Y'all, I've been wanting to walk on the beach more often, but it has been June gloom up in LA. Like even right now, it's gloomy out right now. It's cloudy and I
Mm,
haven't been going out as much, which is so sad. But I'm hoping that that
mm.
starts to like shift away. So I've been trying to make sure that I go out while it's sunny to get a little bit of vitamin D because y'all, I am solar powered. I need the sun.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I
So
can
I
I
know
just
for
say can
sure.
I say one thing to that though too?
Yes.
I love yes, solar powered 100% vitamin D so necessary, but I have to say I actually do I enjoy going out when it is a little bit gloomy, a little bit drizzly,
Okay.
not full on downpour now, but a little bit
Right.
because when I go and hike when it is that little bit of drizzly and like the everything just like you smell the forest, you know? And it
Yeah.
is really and there's not as many people, and you just almost feel like you have it to yourself, and it almost I kind of, like to use my imagination and imagine that I am, like, deep in the woods of some faraway place and discovering this incredible, gorgeous thing, and just, like, play with that and just
Yeah.
gear up appropriately, put my hiking boots on, the rain gear on, but just kind of stomp around in the puddles a little bit and just enjoy that. And it's a
Yeah.
totally different sensation than the sunny day, but I also value that too for what that is, and bring some imagination and creativity to it to have more fun with it.
Yes, I love that, and I have to make sure I add that to the activities list. We like to keep adding what are different activities that come up as things that we love, because not every day is going to be a sunny day. Look, there's wintertime
Hmm.
too, so we had to add some wintertime
Exactly.
activities, and I'm not good at wintertime activities. My idea of wintertime activity is go to Costa Rica where it's not winter.
I understand that. I understand that. I like that activity. That's a good activity. Let's do that.
Right?
Let's
But we
plan that
also need,
activity.
right? And
Hmm.
we also need activities when we can't do that. So I love that. Like you said, like when it's not always funny, and yet here's a way to still enjoy that and get into our body, get out into our spirit. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay,
Hmm.
Tracy said, "How did the tiny house thing go?" Tracy, girl, did you get to see it on my stories? I think I'm gonna make a little bit of a vlog about it and just share like what it means to me and all of those things. But long story short, short story long, I loved it so much that my face hurt from smiling. The tiny house is beautiful. Y'all know that y'all because y'all hear me talk about tiny houses all the time. And I told y'all last week that I was going to do this. So Tracy, thank you for bringing it back up. But yes, it was refreshing. It was a huge milestone on my adventure. It was encouraging. It was so fun to remind myself that the dream is real because sometimes when the dreams don't come as fast as you think they are, it's almost like it feels like that dream turns from something tangible into smoke. But I got to touch it. Like I got to touch the tiny house. I got to see the model. I got to talk to the builder and it made it real, it made it fun, it made it exciting and brought me back to I how much I can't wait for this to manifest and happen for me. Not just and manifest, I don't mean it as in like it's gonna come out of thin air. It's gonna come out of the work I do, the work that I'm doing. And yet manifest the thing that means that it's going to happen. So thank you for asking. It was so much fun. Literally, it was beautiful, y'all. Like it was only 24 feet long, 8.5 feet wide. So it's a little bit under 240 square feet. But it felt like it was massive. It was decked out with a beautiful bathroom, the refrigerator, washer and dryer, all of the appliances, like dishwasher, like things that people think that we have to give up. It even had a daggone fireplace, the things that we think we have to give up in a tiny house and we don't. And y'all know I love every single bit of that. So it was amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. Tracy said, you should go on a cruise. Stay away from Carnival. I love Norwegians. Okay, that's good to know. So my friend that I hung out with earlier this week, he actually does work for Carnival. But now that you like stay away from that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pay attention to that, but at least I think it'll still be fun to tour his ship, because that's what's happening. He comes into the Long Beach port, and so we'll hang out when he's on land. But he invited me to come check out the boat, which, like I said, I've never been on a cruise, so I think just touring the boat in itself would be fun. I'm not gonna lie, I got all these questions, and there's a wonderful creator. I can't think of her name right now, but she lives on a tour boat, on a ship, and I was like, "That's cool. I should just go check that out to see what it was and see what it's about." So I'll probably watch some of her videos too. It'll help me make conversation during the tour. So, but I'll keep that in mind. You said Norwegian is amazing, and the one that Stephanie Perry did. It was a hotel on the water. I want to say it was a Hilton ship. I can't remember, but that one looks amazing, and that thing is expensive. That's like when I hit my first meal, that's the trip I'm gonna go take on that one. So, yes, yes. And then Tracy said, crap, my stuff got deleted. My signal was not a oh. I'm sorry. She said, okay, so you said when you said your wind down for the week, or what you said your fun thing that you wanted to do, because I actually did read that post before it got deleted. You said your fun thing for the week is to do nada, or today to switch into doing look. I promise I could talk. Your fun thing to switch into rest was to do absolutely nothing, especially with that baby boy. That's something already right there. Just sitting there and looking at him is a whole bunch of beautiful something. Yes, yes, yes. Tracy said, Nicole, who wants to be out on gloomy days? I associate gloomy days with entering the office space. But I love that Nicole gave us another way to think about it because you're right. I'm like, listen. can I just go where the sun is? But Nicole was like, listen, but it could be nice. Just get your hiking boots. You know, it makes me think of the redwoods. I've never gone to, I don't think I've ever gone to any national park. I guess I should start doing that. But that sounds like something that I could imagine doing there, especially because the trees are so tall. You're not really going to get the
Yes.
sun anyway. So you might as well go out,
Well,
you know?
and 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 the trees or the leaves are like even more vibrantly green. Everything is just
Mm,
more sparkly. Like it's again, I think we have to engage our imagination sometime too and play, right? And this is an
mm.
opportunity to play and to shift your idea about it and get into some more imaginative space around it and see what you can create with that. It actually reminds me of when I was when my daughter was younger. We used to play this game. We'd walk to school, and if it was a rainy day, we would pretend that like the cars on the streets were whales,
Mm.
and we would have to navigate through the whales and when it was safe to go and all these different. But just trying to use their imagination and make it fun.
Mhm.
And what can you do with that to make it fun? Because, like you said, it's not every day is not going to be a sunny day. So, is there a way to make a day that maybe isn't downpouring or something, but is a little bit less sunny? What can we make out of that? How can we engage our imagination to try to find something way to find joy in it?
Yeah. 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 And Tracy said to that, now don't get me wrong. When I walk home, because she's in New York, when I walk home and it rains, I like to just look up to the sky and have the water hit my face. But I agree. Painting the
Exactly.
rain was a
Exactly.
beautiful picture. Yes. And Tracy also likes to pick with us. I am mad at it, Tracy. I know what you do. I know what you do. I know what you do. I love it. Okay. And then so the cruise boat, Tracy said Carnival always be on the news with people getting sick. Girl. Okay, good to know. Megan said, I've only been on a cruise. I've only been on one cruise a long time ago, but it was a lot of fun. Okay. Listen, I have been known to get motion sickness on the boats. I've done um a boat tour of the fjords in Alaska, and I had to get the crackers because your girl was sick. Girl was not feeling good. So I'm always a little nervous about the boats. But that was like a ferry boat. That's relatively small. Even when I had to take a boat from Cancun to Cozumel because of my flight situation. That's a whole nother conversation. But I got a little sick on that boat too. Like I have to do things that sit on my stomach. So getting on a cruise freaks me out a little bit. And I know these boats, these ships are so much more huge and massive, which is the other reason why I'm excited to tour this boat because I can't even imagine like they've got a whole ropes course. He sent me pictures of the ropes course on this boat. So I'm interested to just see all of it. I think it'll be fun. And then Tracy said that's exactly it. Yes. Okay. I've heard of older people living on cruise ships, and I think that's something I want to consider for when I reach old age. Girl, the older people are showing us the way that the younger people could do some amazing things right now. You ain't gotta wait till you're old. The lady who does it, it's a black woman too. I'm gonna find her information because I actually really do enjoy watching her videos. I just can't think of her name right now. Y'all know when I have to think of something on the demand, it don't work out very well. But I think you might want to check and check into her channel and see what she's got going on. Cause I feel like she's even gotten cruises for free. And I'm like, girl, I mean, I don't need to be a lifetime cruiser, but I wouldn't mind getting a cruise for free just for that fun of that, right? So I love it. Yes. Y'all got me intrigued with the between him and y'all got me intrigued to tour this cruise ship and see what that's gonna be about. So um I can't remember. He said it was somebody else's cruise ship and then it was bought by somebody else. So I don't think it's actually a Carnival cruise ship anymore. I just can't remember what it is. Hopefully that won't be next week when I tell you about it. It'll be the week after, but I'll remember the things and be able to share it then. So, okay, I love it. We've been doing the wind down. So, hopefully, you close some windows. Hopefully, you've picked out your fun activity that's like signaling your mind and body that it's your weekend. I hope that you've also picked out a fun meal that's signaling that it's your weekend, y'all. I'm not a big sandwich person, but this week I went and got me some sourdough, some lettuce, tomato, and bacon. And let me tell you, I think just because I haven't had it in a while, this was like the best daggone BLT I done had in forever. Like I couldn't even remember the last time a BLT was ever this good. So I hope that you find something like that that's like, oh, this is simple and yet amazing, and reminds me, listen, these simple things are beautiful, and I want to be present in these things. I think the other thing about rest is making space to be present in your moment without thinking that you have to do more, that there's 20 more things on the list. Let those listen, let that be that moment of rest right now. Where you're like, I just want to be present in this delicious sandwich or this delicious meal or whatever you got going on. Okay. Okay. Okay, Tracy said, another thing I learned, leave from a place that has a port because my dumb behind left from New York to fly to Florida, stayed one night in a hotel instead of just leaving directly from New York. I get that. Trying to like get to different ports when there's actually a port right there, it does simplify it when you don't have to try to duck and move, which is the other beautiful thing about being in Long Beach. I mean, I haven't decided when I'm going back to the East Coast yet, even though I think it's gonna be sooner than I originally imagined. But it would actually be kinda cool to do a cruise from here before I left. I don't know how that's gonna work out, but I'll say it out loud and see whatever magical thing wants to happen. Is that not how we make space for those things? So just something to think about. Okay, y'all. So we've celebrated our wins. We've did our body scan and chose our rest intention. We set it, scheduled it in our calendar for the week. We've done our wind down for the weekend. Like any other check-ins, how is everybody doing? I want to make sure everybody, if there's anything that we need to suss through that we haven't already, make space for that. Let's talk about it. But then also to remember um, this is just the first step into a bigger process to getting rest. And both Nicole and I are practitioners, are guides, are coaches in helping you get there. And so, Nicole, I want to take a second, like tell everybody what is it, how do you help people make this transition from the burnout that you talked about into the rested lifestyle?
Mm, yeah, it's a process. I think you said it best. It's never an
Hmm.
overnight thing. So I have a couple of different ways that I work, and that includes with a program, an 8-week program that I have that's titled Burnout to Brilliance, where we really try to learn how sometimes the ways that our mindset and our brain kind of operates can actually develop this habit of taking us down that road of burnout,
Hmm.
and how we can catch it and shift it and help it be more in alignment with what it is we really want versus what it's actually doing. And because oftentimes people
Hmm.
are surprised to realize how they're actually doing things in their day-to-day life that are actually taking them further away from what they want rather than closer
Hmm.
to what they want. And so in our 8-week program, we really kind of explore all of that, get into our body a bit more, and really see where that's showing up so we can shift it. And another is that we also have retreats where we really have a more intensive experience to really understand what are the things that are actually blocking us in this moment, and how we can shift towards something else. And those are really beautiful spaces because they're spaces with other women who are also just in a similar situation where you are. They're really successful, super high achieving, doing amazing things, and also exhausted, right? And this is a
Hmm.
space where they can just kind of take the mask off, really let all of that down, and be real with each other about what is really happening, what are the things that are really keeping us stuck in that place, and how we can begin that process of really taking all of that stuff off of us piece by piece, and really allowing ourselves to be present with ourselves and to really move into what it is that we actually want for our life, rather than just continuing to repeat some of the same habits that we typically do, which all people have a tendency toward. But unlearning that and relearning is really where it happens. So those are some of the ways that we work through, um, getting past all of that noise, cutting through all of that noise, and coming back to ourselves, coming back to what it is our actual intention is for our life, and charting a course towards actually having that.
Yes, I love it. And y'all, Nicole makes some amazing, amazing content on TikTok. So, Nicole, what is your handle on TikTok?
Thank you. So it's at Nicole Marie, and then the number three and the word co. So it's like Nicole Marie and co. So it's Nicole Marie, the number three, CO.
Yes, yes, and I will make sure, we go back and put the link in the comment section so that you can click on that and, follow her on TikTok, and then also she's got amazing free resources that you can take advantage of and start using in connecting with her and being a part of this journey, to keep letting go of this pressure to do all the stuff. Like, we gonna kill that little troll that's trying to make you work hard. We ain't
Yes,
about that troll.
yes,
Let
yes.
that troll
Absolutely.
go. Okay. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
So
I know, and it is, we work in similar ways or similar ideas. And I know, Rasha, that we've talked so many times, and I just know that any of the women following you, I would certainly hope that they're availing themselves of the wealth of information and the ways that you are able to guide and support them in this transformation, because it is powerful.
yes, and that's what makes this community so beautiful because almost all of these ladies, like I no, every one of these ladies that are on here right now, I have got to see their face. It's more than just this live stream. We've done calls, we've worked together in some way, and I love to continue to support them. And you guys, just in case if you don't know, but I'm gonna say it again, if you do know, so that you can also share it with anybody else that might be interested. I recently created a new assessment. It's called the What's Blocking Your Soft Life assessment. And it's really simple. 2 minutes, 9 questions for you to get down to the brass tacks of let me look at my life on this scale of red, green, and yellow. Like, cause my life is it's not a switch. It's not a switch on, my life is great, switch off, my life is great. It's a scale, okay? It's a sliding scale. So which side are you closer to, and what specific things do you need to work on to get you to that side that's like, yes, green. And so this 2-minute assessment is gonna help you do that. The link is bit.ly/soft life score, and I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the chat. Again, I will make sure I get all the links for Nicole as well, so that you can go ahead. Actually, I'm just gonna give you the full link. That was a short link if you want to type it in, but I'm gonna give you the link that you can click right in the chat to go ahead and take that assessment. So yes, you guys, I love bringing resources. I love making this community space, and guys know that I also have my signature program, my 16-week coaching program, where we also do a retreat. This jumpstart, this evolution, like this really stepping into a new season of going from or of trading burnout for alignment, this life of alignment. Because when we have a life of alignment, sometimes we think we just need to leave the job, we need to leave the career, we need to leave the kids, we need to leave all of it. And it's that sense of feeling like we have to burn it all down. And you don't actually have to burn it all down. We just got to shift some things to allow alignment, and when we're in alignment, we become that rested queen and we get to live that soft life that we have been yearning for. So, this assessment is going to help you figure out exactly what things you need to shift. Make sure you take a second to jump in and take that assessment. Tracy says, "Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for joining us today. The biggest
Oh.
takeaway: gloomy equals fun time in the rain." Yes, gloomy isn't bad. It's fun time in the rain. It's something beautiful. It just looks a little different. Thank you for saying that, Tracy. You know I love that. That's why I love y'all. Y'all make each other feel welcome. You make me feel welcome. You make my guests feel welcome. And I'm so, so lucky, 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 lucky when I get to have you guys here. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate that so much. Any other thoughts, y'all? We got like 7 minutes. Otherwise, we're gonna do a dance, a little second, and then we're gonna head it out. Yes, Megan said it was nice meeting you, Nicole. All the love shared here in the
Oh,
chat.
you guys are amazing. This is such a beautiful community. I love it. Thank you so much for
Yes.
having me.
Yes, and I appreciate you. I'm glad on a whim that we decided to do this yesterday. It was such a fun conversation. I'm so glad that you joined us. And you'll have to just join us again then sometime. So, all right, you
Absolutely, love
guys.
to.
Yes, 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 we will for sure. And then you guys, I'll see you next week. I'll see you on next Friday, right here, noon Eastern Standard Time for Freedom Fridays. And then you also could find me in my DMs. You know how to find me on Instagram. All right, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day.